yangu wasenesi mwakire mtuzeha sana nenda finira chechemekwe yangu wasenesi mwakire mtuzeha sana nenda finira chechemekwe yangu wasenesi mwakire mtuzeha sana nenda finira chechemekwe. Bageri.
And now that basically was your 3 years experience in Kenya. At what time did it get that you decided that you're going back to the US?
When, unfortunately, it got hard for me.
Do you think that you will ever come back to Kenya? Hello, Jumbo. Welcome back to another amazing episode of The Returnees. This one is with a twist. And I'm doing this video because a lot of people requested for this. Anyway, let me just introduce our guest so that she can also be aware why we have to do this video.
Hey,
hello.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you, my dear?
I'm good. You're looking good.
You're looking fabulous yourself. It's so nice to be back on with you again. Thank you for having me.
Shay, the last time we did this video, I got a lot of backlash because it was a live stream. So a lot of people said I wasn't concentrating. I think some people can differentiate between a live stream, how I do my live streams, and these kind of videos, the returnee series. So I said, I don't want to have lots of negative energy. You know, I even had to block comments on that video because it was just becoming too much. And some people were even coming from that comment, after watching that video, to come and comment in a new video. So I said, hey, let me talk to you so I can redo this video and probably make it short. And yeah, for people who want to really get to watch the video and stop criticizing me so much.
You know what, Tigress? They want that smoke. They can come and get it. They can come and get that smoke if they want it, because what you're doing is amazing. Yeah. Your work is amazing, and it's completely obvious that we love you, and everybody that you are getting knowledge and information to loves you. Those few haters, if they're not focused on what they should be doing, like getting passports or doing other things, then there's something wrong with them.
Oh, awesome. So I'm so glad that you accepted to come back so we can do this video again.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure.
Awesome. So let's start this video. So you can start by introducing yourself.
Well, I'm Prashay Knight. I lived in Kenya for 3 years, from 2015 to 2018. And my experience was good. It was crazy. It was fun. It was adventurous. You name it. Chances are I probably did it or got into it.
Before you came to Kenya, had you done research about Kenya, and had you ever been to any African country before then?
No, I had never been to any other African country before that, but I did research pretty much every country, and I weighed my options of where I wanted to go, such as the currency and the money and how far is it going to go. I looked at the housing market, like how much, okay, if I pay $200 a month for this, I know this is pretty nice. I can get that, you know. I looked at the areas, how far was it away from the bigger cities. I looked at the transportation. I looked at the cost of food. I looked at the whole big picture. And then when it came to like finding housing, within, I would say, the first 2 days of being in Kenya, we had a brand new apartment that nobody had ever lived in. It was a brand new building, secure.
Wow.
You know, so that I did do my research. I did every little detail that I thought would impact our lives. But of course, you always forget something. There's always these surprises, like bringing your appliances or your hair blow dryer. I mean, I've blown up 2 hair dryers. I've blown up, I think, a curling iron too, or something. A few things I brought from the U.S. blew up, is all I can say, because of the shortage in the wall. I don't know how to explain it, but there's something different about the voltage in appliances that you bring from the U.S. You have to get your appliances from Europe or China because they
Oh,
won't work. They're not
yeah.
compatible unless you have the proper converters, step downs, things of that nature. So those are the research things that you can kind of not expect, but you figure it out because you want to be there.
Okay. And which state are you from in the US?
I am from California. I was born in Compton, LA.
Oh, awesome. And how was the feeling when you first landed to Kenya? Was it what you expected it to be?
Yes, and more. It was like I did kind of expect it to be not so, what's the word I'm looking for? Fancy. I didn't expect it to be like this high-end New York City type place. I expected it to feel like Africa. I expected it to have that authentic feel, the smell of spice, spices in places when you walk by, restaurants. And I expected, that freedom. It was like a freedom feeling, to be free for the first time in my life officially. Like, no one, you walk past people and they just see you as a person and not a color, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That was the best feeling I've ever felt in my life. And my goal, and always has been my goal, is to encourage as many African Americans and as many people that want to go abroad to follow that dream, stick with that goal, and start making the process. Not everyone can afford it, or at least they say they can't afford it, but I always like to be the ray of hope to tell people I did it with $1,500, which is not smart.
Wow.
But
Okay.
I'm a hustler and I'm a survivor, and I made it work. There's African American people that I'm talking to right now that are saying, oh, I'm going with $20,000. I'm going with $50,000. Well, great, because that means you're going to be able to establish yourself the right way and your life will be so much easier.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Talking about finances, there's a book that I would highly recommend, written by one of us. The book is called Credit Building Masterclass. I'm actually going to leave a link in the comment section to that book. And guess what? It's absolutely free for anyone who watches these videos. If you get to watch this video, you click that link, you can be able to access that book for free. And you can actually download it at creditbuildingmasterclass.com. Awesome. So let's start first. When you were first coming to Kenya, what inspired you to come to Kenya?
Sorry, there's like a giant bee right there. What had inspired me to come to Kenya originally was, as I said in the first interview, is like I started having dreams. I was very ill. I was, working 3 jobs, going to school. I got burnt out really quickly, and I just felt like I didn't have a purpose or reason to live anymore. I know that's a sad thing to say, but that's where I was at that point in time in my life. So I talked to my mom about it, and she said, well, you know what, let's go to Kenya. We have connections to Kenya. And it just, manifested itself within 1 year. No matter what we had, we just like, we're out of here, and our intention was to not come back, but it's not always that easy because life happens.
Mm-hmm. So you came, you landed to Kenya. Tell us about your experience, because you mentioned last time that you landed in Nairobi, you changed neighborhoods, you went to Nyeri, you did some business. Tell us about it.
Well, from the time I got in Nairobi, we were living in a place called Raqqa, which is a very nice town, like maybe 10 minutes from the U.S. Embassy, the UN. So the area is really nice. The biggest mall of East Africa, Two Rivers, was being built. So the area was just perfect for us. And then from there, we moved to a place called Kikuyu Town. Kikuyu Town is where I decided to do business because when I walked into the supermarket, I got mad when I couldn't find a cake that I really, thought was delicious and fresh. So I went home and I baked some cupcakes and I started giving them to everyone in my building. And they were like, "Are you serious? Like, you need to be selling these in the streets." So I did that for a while. And that's how I got my first, business going in Kenya, was selling cupcakes. That spilled over into Yeri Town because we moved from Kikuyu to Yeri. My mom wanted to live out more in the countryside and just be a little more chill, laid back lifestyle. And I also pursued that business there. I got a lot of recognition. The video that you've seen of me, the Yeri American, in the streets of Yeri, that video is what, made people know who I am, my history, and why I came to Kenya.
Yeah, I
From there,
think we saw the video. Yeah. I think we saw the video of an African American lady who was hawking. Like, hawking is not one of the jobs that anybody, like, lots of people don't like that. It's a kind of job that maybe a lot of people look down on. How did you feel doing it yourself?
at first it was a little scary because I didn't speak Swahili at all. So I'm walking up to people are looking at me, they're wondering if I'm doing something weird because I'm offering them free samples. They're like, "Why are you giving us something for free? Who are you? What?" So it was a little scary, but then once people got to see me every day and they saw that I was committed to the hustle, as they started to love it, I started to love it. Even though I wasn't making much money at it, I was just maybe making enough to get like supplies and make $10 extra or 1,000 shillings extra. But it was just dealing with the people, the businesses. I started dealing with the county governments, the MPs, the police chief. All those people I was taking cupcakes to for their tea time in the morning. They were looking for me. So, it became like just a thing that it gave me something to do until I could figure out which way to go.
A young woman who hawks cakes in Nyeri Town has puzzled many. What catches the attention of the residents of Nyeri Town is her thick American accent. Karen Derry has the story of Prishe Makita Night.
The hustle and bustle of Nyeri Town. It is mid-morning and the residents are up and about in nation building, or if you may, county building activities. There is nothing particularly visible to suggest that Prishe Knight is not a local, and she carries her basket in tow, hoping to charm Nyerians into buying her cakes.
Welcome.
She invites us to her home in Nyeri Town, which is also her bakery.
Today I'm doing a demonstration for a vanilla cinnamon cake, and you start with 1 cup of flour.
Shay, whose full names are Prishe Makita Knight, has been in Nyeri Town for the past 1 year. She says the intense rat race that characterizes life in America wore her out, and that was her main motivation to seek an alternative life in Kenya.
I love the sense of being around my own people. Yes, there's a comfortable freedom that I could not get in the U.S. Unfortunately, in the U.S., there's so much discrimination, there's so much racism, and a lot of times black people, we don't feel comfortable in our own skin. And for me, that was just worth the move. Being around my own people. And also, I love the beauty of Kenya.
The avid cake lover has been baking since she was 5 years old. Her cakes come in different flavors that she says will guarantee some tingling of the taste buds. Lemon, banana, coconut, mango, and so much more. She uses no artificial preservatives, she says.
And it started with, I went into the supermarket and I found that the cakes were not very tasty and they had too much sugar, and it was very hard and just stale, old. And I'm like, no, this has to stop. There needs to be a better quality of cakes that are available, to people. And when you incorporate fresh fruits into your foods, or whether it's cakes or food in general, it does give it a healthier aspect. And I do not put a lot of sugar in my cakes. So I think that just gives it a better balance for people who can't take a lot of sugar. And I also offer, sugar-free cakes for people who want, whole wheat or, brown wheat. I can do that as well. And for people who have allergies, some people can't take eggs, some people can't take milk. So you need to accommodate everybody, and everybody should be able to enjoy a delicious, moist, fresh cake.
She says it is a wonder to many people why she chose to exit America and come to Kenya, yet so many people are chasing the American dream in hope of living in the USA. Shenat lives with her mother, Jenna Lynn King, an African-American from California. Both have recently relocated to Kenya, and they say they love it here.
The people are very welcoming. You guys accept everybody in. And I also love the food.
I've come to love the Kenyan people. They're so humble, graceful, peaceful, and have a lot of elegance about them. And I really love it here.
We are interested to know what mother and daughter's views are on the recently concluded American elections with the election of Donald Trump as president.
My personal views on the election was I did not like either candidate. I think that he won't be that bad. There's laws and constitutions, things put in place where he can't just, wipe everybody off the face of the earth. So people are protected.
I wouldn't have elected neither one, because they're all still from the same family line, and none of them has never really made a change, at least not for the Black community. So they've never really been for us anyways. But, congratulations to Donald Trump. I hope he does what he says he's going to do for the country. But other than that, personally, I remain neutral from all that. And if I was there to vote, I wouldn't have voted for neither one. But other than that, I love America. It's where I was born, but I love Kenya more.
Some residents of Nyeri wonder why Prishe took to hawking, which is viewed by many as a less glamorous career. From moving across streets to parading her merchandise and occasionally offering free samples to potential buyers in Nyeri town, Shade Night delights in convincing people that her cakes are a healthier option. She bakes them herself and ensures everything is of top-notch quality. For the cakes that are fruit-based, such as lemon cake, she grinds a lemon rind from fresh fruits and does not use artificial flavors. For now, she dreams of opening up a coffee shop in Nyeri town that will provide comfort and more and healthy variety offerings. Her career in the USA was on road and transport safety, and she intends to start a Kenyan blog on the same.
Even though in Nyeri, the cupcake business did not work out for me there, I had got an opportunity to go back to Nairobi through a friend and work with her at her food catering and her bakery business. And we did lots of huge events. She gave me, the opportunity to be creative and do a lot of things, that just maybe is not so common in Nairobi, but hey, it's fun, right? And so that was, kind of that experience. From there, I went off to Mombasa Diani Beach, which is absolutely beautiful and amazing. My best way to compare it is like maybe to the Bahamas, I guess. The water is so beautiful and, clean, and it's just a wonderful, Diani is just the best. It's been rated 2 years in a row #1 beach in Africa, maybe 3 years now. So I was in Diani.
Yeah.
3 years?
Yeah, five.
5. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, it deserves it because it's such an amazing place. I did some beach resort management down there. I did some hotel holiday bookings, and took care of some properties, did some property management. And so that was pretty much my whole span of all the things that I've dibbled and dabbed in Kenya. And so I guess that it was just basically me living off of myself as an entrepreneur. Some people are blessed enough to go to Kenya and be like, oh, I'm going straight to a teaching job. I'm going straight to some type of industry, or they're in the military. But I would say I'm a expat thug. Because I kind of went there and I'm just going to do whatever it takes to show people that I don't care how much money you have. If you really want to be somewhere, you will make a way. You will find a way to survive.
Awesome. And now that basically was your 3 years experience in Kenya. At what time did it get that you decided that you're going back to the US?
When unfortunately it got hard for me. I guess it would have been the year of 2018. I was sick in January after the busy season. I had got malaria. I was sick for a long time. And then a couple of months after that, my apartment was broken into and got robbed. So I lost my computers and my stuff and things like that. I wasn't making a lot of money. It wasn't busy season. So I had to just come to terms that I needed to go home to take care of some things, and then also it just, my family was complaining a lot, like, when are you coming back? And I needed to see them. I needed to handle business. I needed to finish my college degree. I was struggling at that point in Kenya. It didn't seem like I was growing as much as I wanted to. Partly, I think now that I think back on it, it was my fault because I wasn't, doing the social media or showing my experience like I was supposed to. I was scared to show my experience. I thought maybe people would basically bully me like they did you. Or they say I'm a liar, or I was scared. But now I've grown. I don't care anymore. I'm ready to share my stories, and the good and the bad stories. It's not that I'm talking bad about anybody or their culture, but this is what I went through with them in the process. So people need to, understand that there's no bashing, there's no hate. It's just stories and experiences, and we all have them, and they're all different.
Well, that's really quite sad. I think especially when you got to the point that your apartment was broken into, that can be really heartbreaking and sad. Very, very, very heartbreaking and sad.
That's not going to stop me. That never stopped me from loving Kenya. That never stopped me from wanting to come back to Kenya and still retire there and live the rest of my life in Kenya. That's whatever bad things happen in life all over the world. I mean, right now in my life is turned upside down, but that's not stopping me from letting the sun shine on me and me receiving the blessings that God has for me. No
All
one
right.
can stop that. No matter where you are in the world, what God has for you, you're going to get.
Awesome. Do you think that you will ever come back to Kenya?
Absolutely. I have a 4-year goal. I'm 36 right now. So by the time I'm 40, I plan to permanently come back to Kenya. So I'm trying to work, do business, set up everything I need to set up, so I can work, remotely, and be able to do business and, sustain myself better than what I did before. But I have a feeling when I come back this time, because the African Americans that are going there, they already know what businesses they're going to do. So they're like, you know what, we would love for you to come work with us. So I know that I'll be fine. I never looked to come to Kenya to become rich or all that. It was just to live comfortably and be okay and be safe. Live in a safe place where you have good security, because that's important for everybody. If you can, so yes, I will be back. My mother is there right now, so I will always be coming back. And in 4 years, if I can make it happen, I will. I'll be
That
there.
would That would be amazing. That would be amazing. What advice or what mistakes would you tell the African Americans who are coming to Kenya to avoid, drawing from your experience and lessons? What mistakes should people avoid, or how would you do things differently if you came again?
Well, the first thing, of course, would be to come with the financial stability that you feel you need to live the lifestyle that you want. It's very smart for people who are going with 20 to 50 to $100,000, or who already have a good job. Make sure that stuff is secure and set up before you go, because you don't want to ever feel like you can end up homeless or different things like that. So that would be the first thing. The second thing is I would definitely try to look into see what type of new programs has Kenya made any progress like Ghana has on letting us come back. I think I want to look a little deeper, or maybe I would maybe even choose Ghana over Kenya because they're friendlier when it comes to trying to get people to come home. So that would be something that I would have looked into a little more, that what I need to do to make sure that I can become a resident, make sure I have the money to become a resident, make sure that you go through all the constitutions and different classes of everything, the Kenyan laws, basically, so that you know how to protect yourself in any event that, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. And what else would I have done different? That's pretty much was the main thing. I would have just made sure I was more financially secure. Everything else I did in Kenya, I had a wonderful time. I was all over the place doing things, and my friends, took me out. And I think I lived pretty well, for my experience.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also, okay, yeah, I would have been more careful about. And I think we talked about this last time. I'm a bit too nice,
Too nice.
so yes, I'm too nice. And sometimes you can get taken advantage of because of that. Like anywhere in the world, you can be taken advantage of because you're too nice. It's just not there. But I have had money stolen from me. I've lost thousands of dollars. I have had some situations of trying to do business when I should have been more assertive. I should have made sure that everything was in place or had proper lawyers, just different avenues to protect yourself. So when you're doing business, buying land, things like that, you just know, or you have some friends that you can refer to that can help you, guide you in the right direction. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Mm-hmm. So basically, finances, getting lawyers when you're doing business, and also
Yes.
trying to research on the laws of the land.
Yes, yes, and be humble and respectful, because you're stepping into somebody else's life and culture. Okay, you're the outsider looking in. So to go there, I mean, I couldn't come there with being so mean to people, because then I'm like, people are gonna want to hurt you if you're being too aggressive and thinking that you're all that. And I'm like, no, I just want to blend in with everybody, and I did until I talk. But I just keep it humble, just keep it humble, and you handle people based on their character and each situation.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I think I did see some of your videos, photos with the Maasai community, and I think there are also some programs that you are doing or something like that.
Yes. When I would say it might have been actually maybe 6 months after I had arrived in Kenya, but I was invited to go out to, I always pronounce it wrong, and I'm so sorry to anyone who lives out there, Norak, which is you can say it correctly for me.
Narok.
No, yeah, it won't roll off my tongue the same. But the Maasai women out there had a women's empowerment event, and it was the most amazing experience. I mean, it captured my soul, seeing all these women and that they have this hope for the future. Maasai women have lived they've lived for a very long time. So these are women who want to go to school. These are women who at least want to try to find a way to earn money. There's women, that are being raped a lot out there, and they're trying to educate themselves into a better future and still maintain their culture, and it's a beautiful culture. And that was what I went there for, was just there was a translator who was, as I was encouraging them, and trying to say, okay, well, hopefully, there will be the MP that had invited me had promised them something, so I hope he went through with that. But it was just to uplift these women and give them hope that they're transitioning into a new era, a new time, and that they can make money, they can grow and be successful too.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing your story. And to everybody who is watching this, don't forget to go to creditbuildingmasterclass.com and download your free copy of that book. I really appreciate your time and your contribution. Thank you for sharing this experience. You have a YouTube channel. Tell us about your channel.
Well, my YouTube channel for my African American diaspora is called Melanated Dream Diaspora. And I've started posting some videos that I've had from the past in Kenya and shown, a few things. But even today, I have a featured video that I'm gonna make and put on there. Also, I'm giving hints about our upcoming book, My Mom and I. That'll be out this year as well. So these things will come, and I'll talk about them more and more and keep you updated. But right now, the YouTube channel is called Melanated Dream Diaspora, and it is also on Facebook. So please like and share.
All right. What's the book about?
The book is about our journey and experiences, in Kenya. And it's also kind of like a tour guide, basically, and some of the challenges we went through and the different, loopholes, having to deal with the government, having to deal with, our neighbors and our locals, all the ups and downs. But of course, me being the person that I am, I left a majority of my stories out. I may save them for my own personal, YouTube, The Melanated Dream, because I have some crazy stories to tell. And I mean, I feel like, you know what, a book is not going to do this justice. You got to hear me say it because it sounds better.
Sure. Thank you so much. And I'll put a link to your YouTube channel so that people can come and get to learn more from your experiences in Kenya. And I'm really looking forward for you coming back here.
Yes, I'm going to see you probably, I'm hoping in June next year, if things open back up and we're able to travel. I do plan to. I'm sorry, I'm in the countryside, so there's like some of everything flying all around. But I do plan to come in June, and I want us to get together and go do some wonderful experiences, so we can show the world how beautiful East Africa is.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me again. You take care and stay blessed.
All right, you too. Thanks. Thank you so much for watching that amazing episode of The Returnees. I told you today's episode is a returnees series, but with a twist. Well, so don't come at me again because of the last video that was a live stream. Sometimes that's how we do our live streams, which are basically conversations between me, my guests, and my audience who are in the comments. So reading their comments and all that. And I can understand. So for someone who's watching maybe much later, they might find it to be not to be able to relate to, like, why is she looking down? Why is she looking on the side and all that? Anyway, don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, subscribe to this channel as well in case you're not subscribed, share out this video, and let us help each other. I mean, you can learn some lessons from her experiences. She said, finances, research, and get a lawyer. If you don't have enough finances, if you don't research, if you don't get a lawyer, well, that's going to be a problem when you get to the continent. So until next time, kwaheri.